all of you on the behalf of CFE CERT and myself. This session, we are going to deal with single frame and double benefit with ISO 27001 with SOC 2. I hope this will be very useful for you and for your life as well. Let me give us about information who we are. CFE CERT is an accredited organization by UCAS, which operates in several countries in the independent audit organization. We are also CFE CERT, CPD certification service as a member of British Education Accreditation Authority. We are also in the Union of British Certification Bodies, ABCB, as a member. And CFE CERT, also UK Cybersecurity, is a corporate member of the council. We are also in the Enterprise Risk Management Association. We are dealing with information security, business continuity, IT service management, quality management, GDPR, personal data management in many areas, such as gap analysis, training, auditing, and certification services. This is about me. I did my first and second degree in University of London, King's College. I'm a computer engineer. After that, I joined to the ABB, Asia Brown Boveri. I worked as a field engineer. After that, I moved to the banking industry, starting from IT manager, IT audit manager, and then I moved to the information security, which is the biggest bank in Turkey, Ziraat Bank. I worked there for Ziraat Technology as an information security expert. After that, I moved to Vodafone. I worked there for 16 years. I worked as a business resilience and data privacy senior manager, DPO. And then I moved to the technology part for the Turkish technology, which is Turkish Airways. I worked there for IT consultant. Now I worked with Securitma. I'm a managing partner, executive board member. I am also, let's say, giving some lectures, providing auditing, and some of the things that I do for training as well on the behalf of CFE CERT. This is my small snapshot of my career. I am very happy to be with you. Today's session is divided in three main parts, which is we are going to deal with 27001 SOC, what is their short definitions and the scope, and the section 2 we will deal with comparison with new standard of the information security and SOC requirements, and finally SOC 2, which is the facilitating the process of using. This is our main topics. I don't know, you may be already familiar with some of the definitions which comes from the new standard of information security. Information security, which is the international standard, it is regarded as being a gold standard. It is based on risk-based approach. It deals with the protection of the information assets. They have got some annex controls, which is 93 controls. It is divided in the 4 different parts: organizational, people, physical, and technological. There are new controls coming such as threat intelligence, data masking, and secure coding, etc. This is a short definition. Has got a lot of things to do if you are going to implement ISO 27001 in your organization. This is mainly provides you information which is the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Of course, standard is the limited knowledge. When you do much more when in the operation side, when you are running this management system for years and years, you are expected to be increased in your management systems higher level. SOC comparing with standard is a control framework developed by United States ASCP organization. Security and privacy practices, the service provider is much more controlled. This mainly deals with 5 trust area. We call it security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. The name of the security and privacy and confidentiality, also a little bit availability. You may familiar with the information security standard because also this is one of the pillars of information security. Processing integrity comes with the much more about the process that you are using. It is divided in 2 sections, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 controls on a specific date. Type 2 is application during a specific time period. So most companies aim to be in the deal with the type 2 because they don't want to be specific date. They want to be the accreditation for the type 2 for a specific time period. It is usable for especially companies who are dealing with technology and cloud service providers, such as Amazon, Google. These are the things they are using for highly technology partners. This is they are mostly they are focusing on. When we want to go with the 27001 and SOC2, comparing with this information security, I could like to wrap up some of the things that it is, let's say, make just a comparison benchmark. Origin, ISO, information security coming from the ISO is an international, SOC2 is United States origin. Purpose for information security related topics, especially ISO deals with information security management. SOC2 is a service trust, means that you are relying somebody that they are doing very well. Much more, let's say, didactic way of saying information security is much more structured, very rules like a Bible. SOC comparing with the information security standard, much more reliable, much more light version. Control numbers is quite a lot. Is a 93 control is coming from the annex control, we call it. SOC2 is not specific, it's a risk-based assessment. There are new controls coming from new standard, which is just released 2 years ago. And there are 11 new controls, for example, threat intelligence. SOC2 has a specific audit criteria, so it's much more tailor-made. This is much more universal, and SOC2 is much more customized. Certification process should be or must be deals with the companies who are dealing and certified accreditation bodies such as CFE, because certification body we are and we do certification. But comparing with the SOC2, it should be done by the independent auditors who reports to CAP firms. Targets is quite a lot. For information security, it's universal, global. You can apply all the sectors, but specific SOC is much more narrow. Core targeted for the technology companies who they are dealing with cloud, SSA, IT service providers. They are mainly deal with much more technology part. Now we are going much more detail about the requirements comparing with these two. One standard, another one is for the SOC2. Requirement is deal with source of the institution. ISO and IEC, which is mainly from the information security standard. As another one is American CPC Association. Purpose is to create very basic information security management system. I don't want something else. Here, much more reliable compliance with the trust service criteria. Somebody usually they are dealing with, let's say, I want to have your service availability. How you are going to deal with my trusted customers? Please provide me the SOC compliance. So these kind of people much more suitable for SOC too. Other ones is applicable for all the organizations. This standard information security deals with highly risk-based management system. And SOC2 is control-based, control objectives, and also deals with targets for service assurance. There's got the standard deals with annex controls, which is 93 controls. This one is also control objectives. Again, it can be accounted as for the number of the controls, but not specific like information security standard, SOC2. Scope deals with organization, process, people, physical, and technological fields mainly. Scope is SOC2 is security, privacy, availability, integrity, and confidentiality. Control number, as I told you, 93 control. SOC2 is quite variable. New control is quite interesting. When they develop the new standard for the information security, they put something specific for it. It's a threat intelligence, data masking, and secure coding. These are 11 controls. It used to be around 114 controls. Some of them is mapped together. Some of them quite new ones. I just give the number of 3 or 4 controls, but there are also another 7 controls as well, which are released as a new control. Auditing and reporting, they are very common in the most companies who are dealing with big tendencies. For example, they are asking information security. Please provide me how you are comply with the standard. Then we do and we provide for the certification, and then they are showing and proving that they are compliant with the standard. How about SOC2 is a firm specific. For example, when you see the SOC2 report, it is a different type. It's specific for the company. When they release the report, they show that this is something related with the SOC2. Certification bodies is also accredited organizations. Yeah, I mean, this standard cannot be certified by the organization who are not accredited. For example, CFE, one of them, we can do for certification, or other companies such as LRQA, BSI, they are certified organization. This is comparing with the SOC2 much more corporate way. If you want to do this, you have to go, for example, ask CFA, and then I want to go to comply with the information security standard. I am ready. Come on and do auditing for me. Here, and then you call for the CPE firms, and then they are go and checked, and then how you meet the SOC2 controls, then they provide you specific for your companies. ISO standards and certificates are just one type. There is no other type. However, SOC2 one is instant type 1, and another one is type 2, which is a time zone. This is to take the time for a long time. Application process for the information security, when you want to deploy, you've got to go a lot of things. You do the first gap assessment. You do for the controls. You do for the site should be ready and deploy information security policies, objectives. management review, and performance controls. And these are the things has to be done, a lot of work. And SOC2 is only focused on control design and operating effectiveness. It's with the plain word of saying that how you are making this. Are you very good at? Are you very effective? And how you design this? Focused on again for technology side. For the recognition part, is global acceptance for the ISO quite high. However, SOC2 is mostly mainly in the United States and global wide. These are the things that we have to remember. Requirements for the when we deal with the standard, I divide it into different sections. Application flexibility and adaptability. You need to do the much more specific structure. Implementation is quite limited. And comparing with SOC2, TSC controls they are more reliable flexibility. So it is much more structured, and you have to do something like that for 27001. Here, much gives you freedom and you deploy it. In other words, we are going to tell you the good story that if you already implement information security standard, you are mostly ready for SOC2. It's very good to deploy them together. Target audience, mostly information security demands for European countries, Asian markets. SOC2, especially SaaS-oriented or technology-oriented companies located in the United States, because they want to be reliable for their customers. They want to show that I provide very good service, very effective service, very reliant. So they are mostly used with this type of companies. Here, for the 27001, for the scientific base, much more tangible, means that PDCA life cycle is essential. Plan, do, check, then act. We can't develop this kind of formula or the life cycle. Here is operating efficiency is much more important. Continuous improvement is less important. And important part is operating efficiency. Auditor, we can provide this service as a certification body. We can do this for information security. And also, if you want to do for SOC to be compliant, you need to be as a company for the CPA firms to be independently. Audit report, we provide certification and audit report for information security, and SOC, they need to be also audit report type 1 and type 2. It is not a document, provides the assurance report. Means that, oh, this guy doing very well, very good, something like that. Now we deal with how we can do this using SOC2 facilitation by having the 27001. In order to go much more deep dive, we have to go analysis for the engine management or basic structure of ISMS. Information security management system requires information security policies, SOD, segregation of duties, definition of duties and responsibility, and risk management process. It also has got a lot of things, as I told you, risk management process, asset inventory, roles and responsibility, and coming a lot of things from the annex controls, around 93 controls, data masking, clocks synchronization, access controls, physical controls, and HR process, a lot of things coming from information security. A lot of work when you are dealing with information security the work is very less when you are dealing with SOC2. Cycle performance and evaluation, and internal audit, SOC2, which is control environment and risk assessment and monitoring activities, which are uh, overlaps with each area. So SOC2 control environment, risk assessment, and monitoring activities looks like the same thing again when you are doing with information security management process. There are very common controls. I mean, you see when the right-hand side coming from the information security control from the ISMS. Annex 1 is organizational and technological control 27001, which is mapped for A 5.1, 5.23, 8.9, something. And availability demands for physical and technological part coming from the ISMS standard, which is related 7.4. You see ops and redundancy for mainly also technological part using for a lot of things for the SOC2. Confidentiality, organizational and technological part. These are the control you will I'm select to in order to map each framework, let's say if you call it together. 5.12 and 5.20 and 8.5 is confidentiality. And processing integrity coming from SOC2 also includes for the 27001. Organizational control coming from the privacy. So these are mainly parts that you are facing. SOC controls record is a large part. So these are things that you don't have to do when you are dealing with SOC2. Once you have already 27001, it's a good opportunity that you are going to deal with. Documents and evidence. SOC for the documents that are created during the process can be used very effectively. When you have done information security, processing risk assessment, and risk evaluation, risk treatment, and the plan, and the magnitude, impact criteria, these are all variable for SOC2. SOC2 it really loves it because already you have done this. ISMS scope statement also you are using in the ISMS. It is also applicable for SOC2. Information asset inventory, which is also very important because technology part is mainly focused on that. Also applicable for SOC2 because information asset inventory, basically you are classified your assets, you have also classified the controls, and then you know that which controls is applicable. So it's very easy for you to deploy SOC2 environment. Event registration and response plan coming from some part from the business continuity and also for instant management process, all coming from also applicable for SOC2. Log management, uh, web filtering, also disaster recovery process, internal process. These are all applicable also for SOC2. Also, demands records of education awareness because people who are dealing with this, they have to know that what they are dealing with. Also applicable for SOC2. Training and awareness also important for both sides to increase the maturity of the organization and also gives you the power for the company. And management review also important for this both standard for the information security is also evidence for the SOC2. Management review provides the board of the meeting that what you have done for the management, how you manage ISMS, which kind of assets that you already have, how you are going to protect them, who are dealing with, and how this is applicable. So these are the things that you are going to deal, especially management review. is a gives the people who have the accountability. Because management review, if there is a board or let's say ISMS board, also is quite easy when we are dealing with the same management review to put the SOC process that I am going to face for SOC2 audit. Please also verify that we have already done for SOC2 process. So it's quite common. And management review also provides a very good records that has got a top management review, provides them the accountability, resource, time, and commitment. These are all coming from the management review reports. So these are when you have shown to associate to auditors, they will be very happy that you have already done. Monitoring and reporting and improvement. These are very important, especially for, I will say, SOC2, because performance evaluation and improvement. Remember that I have already told you, they are focusing on mostly how this organization manages, how they are good at, are they effective, something like that. They are going to challenge this. So this mechanism is quite good for SOC2 because we provide them control mechanism which is internal and external. Why? Because when you have done ISMS process, you are required to go internal audit once a year, and also you are going to be challenged for the external audit as well. So 2 times audit is very good. It provides you much more, let's say, monitoring and actions that to be taken and continuous monitoring and logging activities also for technological part, what will happen, who did, how you are going to manage, what is the result, what is the root cause, how, what can be done if these things that not happen again. These are the basic process for continuous monitoring and logging activities, and also keep the records for the logging as a process which is much more applicable. It covers the analysis and improvement of security incidents. When we are dealing with information security incidents, we are really challenged them. Who has attacked? What has been captured? Uh, how I am going to manage? What is the result? Let's say that how these things not happen. We are all worried about this process. So this is also same thing for SOC2. Monitoring activities and system operations, they are meet for these are the things that already been done. SOC complies with the new controls with the new standard. I will just give the already some of them. For example, threat intelligence. It shows you that you have to keep the intelligence from the other side that if something will happen, it could be as a cyber attack, or I know that there will be an attack, let's say in 2 days later in my uh, inf in my infrastructure. So I have to be care of it. This is can be DDoS attack or ransomware, whatever it is. Here, its relation with associate is associate security function for protection domain. Cloud services for information security, again for associate2 for system operations and security. Privacy and personal information, again, is a privacy criteria. Configuration management is related with the change management and operations of the system. Data deletion and cleaning and masking, again, confidentiality and privacy. And data masking topic, how we are going to do the data masking, data masking, are we going to use the synchronizing, we are going to use encryption, cryptographic controls, whatever it is. So it's again relation with SOC2. Monitoring activities is again same as with SOC2. These controls, especially security, privacy, and availability, contribute to the criteria with the SOC2. Ah, okay. It is all our hands. What we are going to do. Now I'm going to do step by step how we are going to do with SOC to, let's say, level. But I presume that you already have ISMS and then you have already updated with your new version against the old version. SOC2, these are control mapping, the criteria I'm going to provide you. And these are obtained from the ISO control with TSC aligned with SOC as the evidence. Missing some system-specific procedures and controls that are defined settings and internal audit and security tests also quite applicable for roadmap. Of course, we are when we are doing first to the gap analysis. I am here in information security in this level. I have already been certified. Now I am going to move to SOC2. What I need this, where I am, how I am going to reach. You can get this as a consultancy, or you can go to, let's say, gap analysis. I mean, we do gap analysis. If you are happy with us, we can do. We can't provide you consultancy since we are a accreditation body. So these can be done with something that for expert or external expert in your company. So these are things that you will do. And then when you are ready, you will go for the SOC to move. Here's the checklist. You need to have information security policy, statement, and scope. Asset inventory, classification of information. Again, you need to have before ISMS in place. ISMS risk assessment and processing plan. SOC specific risks, access control policy. You need data protection, privacy policies, authentication and authorization, backup, disaster recovery plans. These are the domains that you see on the left-hand side coming from the information security domain, and control and monitoring, logging and event monitoring, and again another control coming from internal audits and review reports. These are when you have done, you are very happy for the SOC to comply. Process clearly, go for ISMS setup and map with control match SOC2 and collection of documents of evidence, determination of SOC requirements that which are missing, and start internal audit and testing process. Finally, go for SOC2 audit preparation. So we are all human. We all would like to say, well, how much or why I am doing this? How much, not money, what is the benefit for me? I mean, okay, we have done a lot of effort for ISMS, not so much effort with SOC2. So what I am going to get? Okay. Key benefits of integration is that it will give you first comprehensive security and trust framework, because 27001 focuses on establishing, implementing, maintaining, and continually improving an information security management system. SOC2, particularly under the trust services criteria, emphasize controls relevant to customer data protection. It gives also integration benefit. We achieve broader security and compliance scope, which satisfies both internal risk requirements and external customer trust expectations and their loyalty. Cost and effort optimization, which is very important, because, I mean, even though for Monday, forget about the report, you are going to spend some time for it. So your money, your team are going to deal with this. So it's also cost you money, Monday effort. However, many controls are already mapped, So you will have less work than just focus on SOC2. Go for 27001 and then plus SOC2. Single set of policies. There will be no different policy that you are going to deal with. One policy includes with information security, includes SOC2 requirements. Integration benefits also reduce duplication of work, saving time and audit costs. Streamline audit and evidence management. Integrated documentation provides you for a lot of work as well. So you can build centralized evidence repository for both internal and external audits. And these are increases efficiency and demonstrating compliance to both certification bodies and attesting bodies. Stronger market trust and competitive advantage. 27001 globally recognized, SOC2 widely accepted, especially in the United States. These are also integration, again, benefit for both sides. One inside, you will prove that information security, another one is also SOC2. Enhanced risk management and governance is a risk-based approach. SOC is much more control-centric. Better alignment with business and regulatory needs also provide you for the regulatory bodies such as GDPR, HIPAA, and other protection laws, which is very important for you for your compliance work. Summary table. These are for benefit category. Benefit category focus, recognition, audit, control overlap, and customer trust. These are you can get it from both sides when you are doing together. On the behalf of CFE, we are very happy to be with you. You can follow our social media accounts, certification, CFE certification from the Facebook, Instagram, also our website. We are very happy. If you have some questions, I would like to answer. Also, we provide online courses career. You can see it. We are going to share with our presentation. Okay. I think I have seen some questions. Okay. One question is, I think we can provide you the presentation. Yes, sure. There is a speed exam we are going to provide. If you don't have any questions, you are free to go. But please do the exam. Thank you very much. See you in another webinar.